It's like I always say, if you want to know the history of a city, any city or town, you need to go visit the local city. Hey, namaskar everyone, how are you? Hopefully everybody's been doing fantastic. Listen, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by and checking it out. I hope you're going to stick around. If you're already a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. Now, as always, welcome back means we are on another adventure, which also means you're going to want to know where we are and what we are doing. We have made it back to Cleveland, Ohio. We are back in Seatown. That is right. And you just heard me saying, and I say it quite a bit in my videos, if you want to know the history of any city or any town, you want to go visit the local cemetery. And that is exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to take you on a visit to one of the largest cemeteries in the United States. It sits at 265 acres, I believe, and it's right here in Cleveland, Ohio. It was established in 1869 by a man, or with the help of a man, Jephthah Wade, and a few of the more prominent residents of Cleveland, Ohio. I believe there was 30 in total, a group of 30. There were supposed to be more, but I think 30 showed up at the meeting, and that is when they established the Lakeview Cemetery. And I am excited to be here again. I come up here whenever I'm in the area, but here's the gates. Let me get away from that sun. There is the gates. Lakeview Cemetery, organized in 1869, right here. There's the plaque, 1869. But I think the thought process of this cemetery, get out of that sunlight, I think the thought process may be a year or two before it was actually established, because the city of Cleveland was growing, okay, and they wanted a bigger cemetery, a more prominent cemetery, which we'll talk a little bit more about that when we go walk around. It is on a National Register of Historic Places. Lakeview Cemetery has the little L up there, the shield. This is the front. Now this is Euclid. This is the Euclid Avenue. This is the Euclid Avenue entrance to Lakeview Cemetery. It's going to be impossible to show you every detail of this cemetery. It is so large, but we're going to do our best. I'm going to take you to some of my favorites throughout here. So I guess if you're ready to bury yourself into some history of Cleveland, Ohio, I suggest you get off the couch, you get ready, and let's go. We are right here. Right here. That is fantastic. Gotta go. Oh shoot. Look at all of them. I think they're ready to kick my ass. Harden saliva. You're okay. You're okay for watching my channel.
Jesus God, Mamma Mia, look what we got.
Shh. I said there's people still sleeping. Calm down. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. I told you she was afraid of bridges.
Do not. Stop it now.
That is the starting point of the trail. I guess. I don't know. You can start at the beginning or you can start at the end. I don't think it matters where you start at. But wherever you start, that's your starting point. Oh, shit. That's why I tell you, if anybody's looking for an HJ, this is the spot. Take a sip. History. Better Malanga. All right, so when I visit a cemetery and I'm doing a video about a cemetery, I usually talk about how the older cemeteries were built to be enjoyed as parks. They weren't just a place to come and grieve. This cemetery was actually inspired by that Victorian era of France and England. When they made their cemeteries, they made nice architecture. They had gardens. They had curved roads. It was just a pleasant place to be, to remember your loved ones, to come. You could have a picnic at the cemetery, and it was almost like an art museum. And while we walk through here, you'll see it really is. And that concept came over to the States. So when you go to some of the older cemeteries, you'll notice, wow, this, you know, this is a unique place, you know, a nice place to take a walk and just in silence and just remember your loved ones and such. But I figured there's no better place to start this video than to go show you the first person that was ever buried in Lakeview Cemetery, and that would be Captain Louis DeForest. And there's actually a squirrel hanging out right there on the memorial stone right there. This is the DeForest family plot. I'm taking it. Now, Captain DeForest was a Civil War soldier, and here he is right here. Captain Louis Germain DeForest. The first person to be buried in Lakeview Cemetery. I thought it was a nice gesture to start the video with that. But I'm just looking out. This is what I was telling you. Look at all the trees, the colors. I mean, this is fall now, you know, leaves are falling off and what, but look at all the colors of the trees. I mean, just look around. I'm going to take you to some of these places. I believe that's the Wade Memorial, Wade Lake over there. We'll go down there. We're going to make our way, and I'm going to show you what I can. But here's the DeForest. Nice sounds too, but I was noticing that lion up there. I thought that was really, really neat. I told you it's like an art museum. And Captain DeForest, he was the first one to be buried here. He was a Civil War soldier. I believe there is 895 Civil War soldiers buried here at Lakeview Cemetery. So that was the first stop on our walk through this just a beautiful park. And like I said, this is one of the largest garden cemeteries in the United States. So let's get going on to the next one. All right, since I was so close, I decided to come down here. This is the Wade Chapel. This was actually dedicated to Jephthah Wade, and we just talked about him. He was one of the people that founded Lakeview Cemetery. It is closed today. I think it's actually closed for the season. Oh, look up top there. There's a hornet's nest up on top of that ridge. But a little bit about Jephthah Wade, because we didn't really talk about him too much. He was actually the founder of Western Union Telegraph Company, and he also was the first president of Lakeview Cemetery. So pretty fitting to have this chapel built in his honor. We'll take a walk around it. Man, this is great. Now, one thing about this, I wish I could get inside. I don't know if I have pictures of this or not. The interior of this was constructed, maybe we can look through the window. It was constructed and designed by Louis Comfort Tiffany. Yes, that Tiffany. You go inside here, I think there's a window in there and whatnot, and it's one of the last interiors that were designed by him to even exist anymore. So if you come here and you get the chance to go inside, definitely go inside. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, yeah, they have, okay, there's a door right there, so you can't even get inside. What does that chapel say up there? Or the sign, there's a sign that says, I can't read it, it says erected in memory of Jephthah H. Wade by his grandson, ADMCM, is what that says. I don't know if I can get a good picture of that or not. Man, how about up here? I don't know, you might not be able to see it, but I read what it said. But we'll walk around here. Yeah, see this setting? Look at all the lion mouth up top, the heads of the lions. Yeah, there's actually in this section, there's gonna be quite a few places that I want to talk about. There's Wade Lake. We'll go down here, maybe we can just look at the scenery down here. Let's go see if there's anything in this window. I'm not sure. Like I said, if you come here and you get the chance to go inside here, go ahead. And since I'm out here, ooh, that thanks sun, that right there, we can't see it. I mean, you can't see it like in its how it's really supposed to be with the light shining out, you know, from the inside. That is a Tiffany glass window right there. How cool is that? And what's down here? Just the inside. So yeah, man, I wish we could have got inside there. Darn it. Wow, I love these old crypts here. Very nice. But here is another unique one right here. Levi Scofield. I'll walk around the front so we can get a better view. But Levi Scofield, he actually designed a few things, and two right off the top of my head I can think about is the Athens Lunatic Asylum and the Mansfield Reformatory. And if the Mansfield Reformatory is ringing a bell, that is in Mansfield, Ohio, and that was in Shawshank Redemption. So that prison, that's the one we're talking about. But yeah, just look at the architect up there, just a oh man, that is so nice. So yeah, nice and fitting for Levi. Oh look, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, look at that. It even, just the design on that, phenomenal. Wow. And then let's, Army. I like that, USA, Cuba. Wow. Yep. Levi Scofield. There must have been a lot of hornet's nest because I see the part of one right up in there. Wow. But look at even on the doorknobs, you got the S for Scofield, the ivy growing. Yeah, see, everybody's walking out here, running, park to enjoy. Look at that little globe in there. Well, that's cool. But another person, he was a Cleveland disc jockey, Alan Freed. And look at that, looks like a jukebox, right? Alan Freed coined the term rock and roll. Kind of destroyed that barrier between nationalities and black and white and whatnot, because music just brought everybody together. He was actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is in Cleveland, Ohio, and he also has a star on the Hollywood walkway there. But you can see at this cemetery, and this is probably the most things I've ever seen people leave, you know, dedication, memorials, or whatever, offerings, at any cemetery I have ever been to. There's so many stones and gravestones and stuff, and people leave things, and those are actually fascinating to look at as well. Some of the things that people leave, like look at that long live rock, and I believe there is something over here. Yeah, Alan Freed. I'll pause that and you can read it. But yes, he coined the term rock and roll because rock and roll was born in Cleveland, Ohio. How about that? Alan Freed. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully. Yeah, look. People leaving guitar picks, charms. There's some beach glass there. Look at that. Yeah, all the guitar picks right there. And I'll do my due diligence and leave a coin for Alan Freed. There's another lake over there, which we'll talk about here in a minute actually, but look at that view. Yeah, see, they have little trails that go all throughout the cemetery. Man, I love the colors still hanging on to these trees out here. That red one over there is beautiful down there. But right here coming up that we're looking at right now, this is actually not a grave. This is a cenotaph, and what a cenotaph is it's a memorial stone for that certain person. The body is not, you know, under here. It's not buried here. This is Eliot Ness. And we're not talking about the beer from Great Lakes Brewing, but it is named after Eliot Ness. Eliot Ness, he was an agent, and he led a group called the Untouchables. And if you ever watched that show, that movie, The Untouchables, it was about Eliot Ness and his team. Dick Tracy actually was modeled after, or in an inspiration from Eliot Ness, I should say. He helped bring down Al Capone. So yeah, federal agent Eliot Ness. He became, I believe, a safety director in Cleveland. And yeah, look here, you can see people leaving different offerings as well. And I'll stop. Hopefully you can see that as well. But he also, I think, was leading the prohibition that was going on in Chicago at the time. Now, I believe the story here is his ashes were somewhere else for a long period of time, and then finally they were brought here, and his ashes were actually spread in this lake right behind the cenotaph. Eliot Ness. Here's another one, and look at all those pens, all those pencils, all the crayons, all the markers. Look at all those. I actually forgot to bring one. I was gonna bring a marker to put in here. Harvey Pekar. Look, somebody put a necklace there. Got a candle, a Coke candle. Look at all those. Look at that. This is one of my favorite. Life is about women, gigs, and being creative. Harvey Pekar, he was an underground comic writer. I believe he passed away from cancer. And he's best known for the comic series American splendor. But this is probably one of my favorites, just because of all the pens that get left behind here and people leave. But yeah, Harvey Pekar. So does anybody like the orchestra, to watch the orchestra? I know I do. And the Cleveland Orchestra is probably the #1 orchestra around. And this woman right here, Adela Hughes, she was a pianist, and she also founded the Cleveland Orchestra. Adela Hughes. Yeah, look, you look around. I told you, this is like an outdoor art installation here at the Lakeview Cemetery. Goes all the rolling hills and the curved roads and the lakes. Man, what a great place. When Irish eyes are smiling. Anybody know that song? I know, I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer, but the music, that music was composed by Ernest Ball. Ernest Ball. And then I see another tombstone right here. When I was looking for this grave, I don't know. It's kind of an easy layout to find people throughout the cemetery, if you know what you're looking for. But it was weird because I seen all this you know, other outline of different family names and stuff. But here it is right here, Ernest Ball, right in the middle of all this. So I don't know if that has anything to, you know, if there's any significance to that or not. But Ernest Ball wrote the music for When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. Little fun fact, he was not Irish. Walking through the cemetery, look everybody, right up there, there's an eagle. Look at that. Hopefully that shows up. How amazing. I just got chills looking at it. Yeah, I love that. Look at that. That is definitely an eagle up there. Wow. Man, is that awesome. Get off the couch. Like I say, get off the couch. Get out. Here in. How awesome is that? Wow. Just flying. There he goes. Wow. How cool. So how cool was that? We seen an eagle, right? Now, one of the probably most visited monuments here is probably the one I'm about to show you. The Haserot Angel. This is probably the most photographed, most visited plot here at the cemetery. The Haserot Angel. It was sculpted by Herman Matson, I believe. He's a Cleveland sculptor. I actually don't know much about him. I don't know if he's still alive. I don't know how old he is or not. But he was from Cleveland. This actually is called the Angel of Death Victorious. Has an upside down torch. which symbolizes the extinguishment of life. But let's get up closer to the Haserot Angel. So this is the Haserot family plot. And before we get closer of this one, if that name rings a bell, Haserot, he was a grocer. Mr. Haserot was a grocer. You'll see the trucks still rolling down the roads, northern Haserot. So that is that name, Haserot. But this is the family plot. This is the monument, the bronze angel, weeping angel. It looks like she's crying, black tears. And the story goes, if you come here at night or if you're driving through, you can hear her weep. Yeah, one of the most photographed and probably visited sculpture here at Lakeview Cemetery. We'll walk around back because usually people leave. Man, I am surprised there is nothing here unless they cleaned it off. Usually there is a, look at the wings in the back. Look at that. Look at that. Tell me that's not awesome. Look at that. We'll walk around. Yeah, just look at the view. Got another mausoleum up there. And it goes down here too, like the road. Look at all the winding roads, the woods, the forest. We'll be making our way over there because I do see a big tower sticking out in the sky over there. Of course, it's not open either, and I'll explain that when we get over to it. But again, the Haserot Angel, Angel of Death, victorious. And I told you, I am surprised there's no offerings here. This is usually filled with offerings. That being said, I think I'm going to leave mine right here. I made this before I left. If people don't know, I am into crystals and herbs and stuff like that. I like it. So I made a little spell jar to leave as an offering, and we are going to set that right there at the Angel of Death, victorious. See, I told you, a lot of history to be found at the local cemetery in whatever city you're in. But here's that Hannah mausoleum we are looking at. See if we can get any picture inside. Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, look at that inside. Wow. Must be the Hannah family family mausoleum in there. I don't know anything about the Hannah's family, but they must have been important. Look at that. It's a nice picture right there. But yeah, see how this cemetery is, all the hill. It's just it's so awesome down here. It's so awesome over here. This is a great cemetery, a great park. I think they somewhere around here too they have a daffodil hill, which gets covered in daffodils. And see, it's everything's marked pretty good. Like there's, you know, section 8, and they're not real big either. They're not real big. If you're looking for a certain person, it's pretty easy to find who you're looking for. But we were talking about before we even started the video and walking through, we were talking about the first president of Lakeview Cemetery, and who was that? Jephthah Wade, and the founder of Western Union Telegraph Company And there he is right there. Jephthah Wade. Look at that. Wow. The angel up top with the wings. Wow. And let's see. Yeah, there's the W for Wade. Wade. And I'm not sure. Look at the view he has though. Look at the view. Wow. Amazing. Yeah, look at that. Just look at just the woods, man. Wow. So I'm not sure. That's not even part of the waves, but let's look over here. Jephthah Wade. Right there. Jephthah Wade. That must be his wife. Bird flying around. There's the Hannah mausoleum over there. Yeah, you could just stroll through here for hours and hours and hours, and just, it's so quiet, it's so nice. And in the summertime, I will say though, it does get a little busy. It does get a little busy here. Little fun fact also about Lakeview Cemetery. I believe this cemetery was the very first mobile automobile funeral procession right here at Lakeview Cemetery. I told you, a lot of history, a lot of history. So the first grave that we seen on our video was Louis DeForest, and we talked about him being a Civil War soldier, and there's many Civil War soldiers buried in here. There was another man, James Henry Salisbury, and here is Salisbury plot right here. I don't know if it's really a plot, but here is where James Henry Salisbury is laid to rest right here. You can see the name. Salisbury. Now, he actually invented the Salisbury steak. Yes, the TV dinner. Man, that sounds great. The TV dinner, way back when it'd come in the aluminum foil and you peeled it back. Oh man, actually Salisbury steak is probably one of my favorite, like, kind of TV dinner thing. But the reason he invented it was for the Civil War soldiers. It was actually to help them with their digestive issues, their digestive system, their digestive sickness. So it was actually a sort of like a medication that he invented for the Civil War soldiers. So little fun fact, I guess, but with you know, some history behind it as well. But James Henry Salisbury. So who doesn't like baseball, right? America's favorite pastime. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks and all that jazz. I know we're in Cleveland. I'm actually a Pittsburgh Pirate fan. I know, but I love my Pirates. But being that we're up in Cleveland, let's talk about the Cleveland Indians. There was a shortstop that played his whole career with the Cleveland Indians, and that was Raymond Chapman. Raymond Johnson Chapman. And this is really great here. I mean, not great that he's here, okay, because there is a story to go. I'm just saying with the people that leave the offering. We'll get a closer look at the offerings that they leave. But Raymond Chapman, I believe it was his last year before he was going to retire, I think. He was hit by a pitch. I forget who they were playing. I want to say the Yankees. I'm not 100% sure. But he was hit in the head by a pitch. And they say when it hit him, it hit him in his temple. They say you could just hear the crack. They actually thought that the ball hit the bat, but it was actually his head that hit. He is actually, to date, I believe, to date, he is the only Major League Baseball player to become unalive by being hit by a ball pitch. Now, back in their time, helmets weren't mandatory to wear. You know, batters didn't have to wear helmets. So, but that's the story of Raymond Johnson Chapman. Let's get a closer look at some of the offerings that people left. We got a John Lennon CD. They're from Beaver Dam, Kentucky. Ray Chapman Baseball Complex. And then people leave all the balls. We'll never forget you, Chappie. Look at all the balls. Cleveland Indians, of course, it's the Cleveland Guardians now. But look at, I like that emblem right there for the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland, #1 baseball cap. It is Christmas season, so got a Santa hat. What's up here? Somebody left a glove, some coins, another Cleveland hat, some more balls. People personalize them, and all the pennies. And like I said, usually when I come to the cemeteries, I like to leave offerings of the ones that I'm talking about or whatever. So I just grabbed a handful of nickels before I left, just as a little token, a little offering, for letting me talk about them, I guess. But Raymond Johnson Chapman. Yeah, the good thing about driving through the cemetery, there's stop signs, but there's no traffic lights, there's no stoplights. But speaking of that, how funny is that, right? But here we have another person, Garrett Morgan. By his deeds he shall be remembered. He invented the tri-colored traffic light, and also a type of gas mask. It wasn't like the kind we see today, you know. This was like one of the first, you know, original, the OG gas masks. But Garrett Morgan. All right, made it to another part of the cemetery. And I did my Youngstown cemetery, and we talked about the first millionaire of Youngstown. But if you're talking about the first billionaire of the United States, you're talking about John D. Rockefeller. And here's the plot here, but if you want to see his actual stone, he's up here with his wife, I believe. John Davidson Rockefeller. Right there. Got the Rockefeller. Yeah, when I think Rockefeller, I think of New York. He's right here in Cleveland. Now, he became a billionaire founding the Standard Oil Company. Standard Oil Company needed a railroad back then. The name Amasa Stone may ring a bell. And he's right over here, which I show you. So with the railroad came oil, transportation, money. Now Amasa Stone, he was into the railroad business, building bridges, building Howe Truss bridges. And man, look at that. I just seen an anchor on top. I should be showing you some of the views instead of my face, but I want to explain these things because they're so close together. There's Amasa Stone, not too far from Rockefeller. There's Rockefeller right there, and then Amasa Stone. Like I said, Amasa Stone was into the railroad business. He was into the business of railroad bridges, the Howe Truss bridges, and he actually I believed unalived himself over grief. Why? Because if you remember, I did a video in Ashtabula, Ohio, and we talked about the Ashtabula train disaster, where the train was crossing the Truss Bridge, the Howe Truss Bridge. It collapsed and it fell into the ravine below. Amasa Stone kind of was responsible for that, and that is why he unalived himself. So I don't know how many people know that or not, and I thought that was kind of a cool history lesson, that they're right next to, you know, they're right here, and it kind of went together, you know. And they both had a lot of money. They both made a lot of money. You know, him with the bridge and the railroad, the transportation. And what am I looking at here? I hear something. I don't see any. Oh, it's way over there. A couple jets flying through. Wow. I miss them. They were up there high. You could hardly see them. You hear them though, right? But I thought this was neat that Amasa Stone is right here. And it's kind of like a history lesson. You know, they go hand in hand. He made money off the oil company. He made money off the bridges, and kind of went hand in hand. It was a neat little thing. Now, here's another one so close to these two. Okay, a lot of history in the cemetery. I'll see if I can get a clearer picture of there. There's Archangel Gabriel. Let me see if I can I get around in there? I can't really get around in there. Hold on, let me see. There's Archangel Gabriel back there. Maybe I can get around this way too, I'm not sure. The sun, I gotta get away from the sun, that's the problem. Look at that. Man, that is cool. Can we go around the back and see the back? Sometimes on the back there's names and what. Man, I don't see it. I don't see a name on the back of there. Let's look for the name. It was sculpted by James Earl Fraser, and that's what I was looking for. I don't see no name. Yeah, sometimes they I don't see his name anywhere on there. But anyway, that's Archangel Gabriel. And then right over here, we have John Hay. He was secretary to Abraham Lincoln. John Hay. But look at that. If you come up here, and we got another stop. I'm gonna go into that area back over there, because you see that tower right there? We're gonna walk by it, and hopefully I can get up close to it. Well, I'll talk about that when I get over there. We're not gonna be able to get in it, and I'll tell you why. I want to so bad. I've never been in it, to be honest with you. And I'm waiting, and I'm probably gonna have to wait another year or two to get into it. But if you come here, just I'm telling you, it's just the history in this little spot right here. You got the Rockefeller, you got Amasa Stone right here, you got Gabriel to look at, you got the secretary of Abraham Lincoln, and I think that's a Pittsburgh Pirates insignia. No, that's not a Pickner, that's Pickens. That's a Pickens plot over there. But I think we'll head over, and you know, it's, again, you have to drive through the cemetery. It's not one that you could just park and walk. I've been driving this whole video. I put a lot of time into my videos. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. I do put a lot of time into my videos. I do research stuff that I don't know about to give you the best information that I can for you to get off the couch yourself and do this stuff. Okay, this is what I was talking about. This is the James Garfield Memorial. It has been blocked off for quite some time. They are restoring it, like in its years and years of progress, but when it's done, it's going to be pretty awesome. Let me see there, see if I can get a better view of just the, yeah, okay, there we go. Maybe, yeah, there you go. There's the Garfield Museum. It has kind of his life, you know, scenery on the front. Now, James Garfield, he was our 20th president. I'm trying to get a better view of that. He was our 20th president, and in 1889, he was unalive. Somebody shot him. I believe that was Charles Guiteau. Yeah, I guess I could just put this over the fence and it would even make a better picture. There we go. Yeah, Charles Guiteau, in 1881, he was shot. He was made unalive. And they kept Garfield here in a temporary space until this was built. But man, I want to go in top of him. Him and his wife were actually inside of here, along with their daughter and her husband. They are in urns, like they were cremated, so they're in urns. Mr. Garfield and his wife are in their caskets in there. I so bad want to get inside here. I was here a couple years ago and they were working on it. I think it's a three-step process of what they're doing, but it's going to be pretty neat when we can go inside and see how they're vaulted inside when it's all said and done. This actually opened in 1890, where James Garfield was actually put in here and laid to final rest inside here. But I want to go in here so bad to check this out. The ceiling's supposed to be insane inside. I'm sure they have some different artifacts and whatnot inside. I've never been in there. Every time I came here, it was either closed or they were doing the restoration progress on here. Man, I want to go in there so bad. And I also want to do, I'm waiting to do a video, because you could actually go see where James Garfield was born, where he bought his home and lived, and you could go in here and see his inside his memorial and see them laid to rest. So that's going to be another video whenever this is done and I can get inside. Okay, so I made my rounds again, and we are back at Wade Lake, the Wade Chapel. By Alan Freed was over there, so we're back kind of like at the beginning where I started, more or less. Last grave that I'm gonna visit before I do the outro to this video. If you're from the area, Cleveland, surrounding area, you will know the Michael Stanley Band. And everybody would probably know the song, He Can't Love You. You know, he can't love you like I love you, that one. Everybody knows that one. Michael Stanley was like a superstar here in the Cleveland area. Everybody loved him, but it was weird because you would go somewhere else and you mentioned Michael Stanley Band and they didn't know who you were talking about, you know. But Michael Stanley was a big name, and this is my final grave that I wanted to show everybody. And it wasn't too long ago that he passed away, March 5th, 2021. Yeah, Michael Stanley. Yeah, he had some really good music. I actually worked with Gary Markowski a while back, which was the lead guitarist for the Michael Stanley Band. He now has his own band going, the Gary Markowski Project, but he was the lead guitarist. I worked with him. Go check the video out though if you never heard of the Michael Stanley Band, which I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way, but it's really weird that some people never heard of him. Like he was a phenomenon, like that the band was just a phenomenon around the area. Like everybody knew him from around here. Go check out the video, He Can't Love You. And you'll know the song. When the song plays, you'll definitely know the song. But that was the last site that I am going to show you on this video. Last look of the lake. That tree over there has some nice color. You probably can't do it. This video probably doesn't do it no justice. It is like red, fire red. And there's the Garfield monument peeking out above the woods back there. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a drive. I got one more thing to show you. It's not a grave, but I got one more thing to show you before we end this video. All right, so that was the Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland, Ohio. Again, I could possibly not show you everything in the cemetery. It's 285 acres. I believe there's like 102,000 people buried here. So use that to your imagination. I showed you some of the ones that I thought were interesting, that everybody comes to see. Some of them, Alan Freed, the Haserot Angel, etc. Now we're down here. We're like down in the like gully of Lakeview Cemetery. Got some crypts. Look at this one over here. Look at that one. But if you come down far enough, wow, that's an interesting. That looks like this one looks like Lord of the Rings, you know, Frodo Baggins kind of stuff. Wow, that's interesting. But when you come down here, there's something else that's interesting here at this cemetery that you need to check out. It's a pretty large structure, just made of cement. It is the Lakeview Dam. You can hear the water rustling down there. You'll get a better view here in a second. Look at this. The Lakeview Dam. I actually tried running up there at one time, but it's 89 feet tall, 500 foot wide. Now, at the time that this was built, this was the largest dam east of the Mississippi. I don't know if that still stands to this day or not, but like I said, at the time this was built, it was. Go over here, take a better view over here. Yeah, and basically, you know, this dam was for let me see if I can stand up here. This dam was for you know, downstream flooding. It's the purpose of it, because otherwise all the water would be going into this cemetery and such down here. But that's quite interesting. Let's get a little closer to the actual structure itself. Yeah, this is awesome. I think this was built in 1978, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. That's great. That's awesome. And then this was always freaky down here. But I'll tell you, yeah, look at this. Look at how freaky this is. That is freaky. It's freaky. There's a bird nest up there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, very cool. Now, whoops, almost fell off that. Little fun fact about the dam. This actually was in a movie. Woo! This is great. Captain America. I don't know if anybody seen Captain America, the Winter Soldier, but this was in it, man. I wish you can get on top. If you drive up the road to the other side, that road will take you over there, and you can look over you know, down the alleyway. But yeah, Captain America, a Winter Soldier, or the Winter Soldier. This was actually their bunker. I don't know what part. I don't know. I know in one of the scenes they're walking along the top. And I don't know if they're going in this door or that door up there. I want it probably up there, I would assume. And if you go, I was seeing a video, a little documentary, and some of the pipes, they actually painted it to look like rust. Like the pipes aren't rusted in there, but for the movie they painted it. But yeah, that was the fun fact for Lakeview Cemetery. So a lot of history. You got the structure down here. Just, you know, you wouldn't even know it was here, you know, unless it's just out of the blue. It's like, what the heck is that? So really cool. But again, there's no way I could possibly show you everything in this cemetery. What I want you to do is I want you to watch this video. Well, first you need to like the video. You need to subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. Share the channel. That's what I want you to do. Definitely like it. Leave a comment. I read every single comment. At this point in time, I answer every single comment. So please do that. But what I want you to do is watch the video. If you have never been here before, you need to make a trip up to Cleveland. You need to visit this cemetery, and plan a few hours. Plan a few hours if you want to check out some of the ones I showed you, and if you want to walk around, because there is, trust me, there is plenty more here. There's plenty more than what I even showed you. But that was the video. I'm glad you came on today's adventure. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate all my subscribers. Hopefully you like these videos, and hopefully I can make more, and you keep watching them. So until I see you on the next adventure, wherever that may be, Bad Malenge.